hello. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
I didn't even say bam. I guess I was too busy being busy. Anyway, good evening. Happy hump day. Welcome to the swimming pool. SWYM. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. My question is this. Are you ready for my question? Are you saying what you mean? Are you meaning what you say? If you're not, you might want to start doing that. I know it's not easy to do, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's just like, working out and losing weight. If everybody could have a flat stomach and a half a chin instead of 4, instead of wearing how do I even say it? I mean, I use weight because it's like one of my problems, and I don't want to talk about somebody else's problems and leave my own. So I like to use examples when it comes to that. And I say it all the time. If being fit and fine was easy, everybody would be fit and fine. But you know what? It's just like that saying about the strong. The strong survive and the weak fall by the wayside. So, as it relates to saying what you mean and meaning what you say, guess what? Say what you mean, you'll be strong. If you don't, you just might be weak. Anyway, I have a special one for you guys tonight, and I have 2.5 guests that I'm going to bring on, and we'll break the news then, because I have some breaking news of some news that already broke. So how is that possible? How can it be breaking if it's already broken? I mean, if they bring it to you, it's not breaking. They should start saying, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it's broke news or broken news, because it can't be breaking if they already know about it. Maybe it's breaking to you, but what does that have to do with anything? Don't worry about it. Just let me do my thing. Whew. I have a guest that's going to be special. I'm calling this proofread, not proofread as in the one word, proofread. I'll explain why I named it that one day, but then this is going to be the season finale. That's right, this will be the last swim as we know it. I have a caller standing by, and we're going to talk about it as soon as I can get my caller on the line. I'll share it with you, share some of the details. With that being said, let's do that. A ring-a-ding-ding on the telephone.
Hello?
Hey there.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Wonderful. That's fantastic. I've got Jackie with me. I've got Melanie Bonita. Nigel Joseph is in the house. Nigel is showing up for the finale. You know, Nigel and me go way, way back. He's a cool brother, and I love him like a serious brother. And that's just the way it's going to be, Nigel. You can't do anything about it. Anyway, thank you for being with me. How are you this evening?
I'm doing just fine.
Yeah?
Just fine. Yeah.
Okay. So you know about the breaking news, right?
The breaking news?
Yes. The news that has been broken already. How about this? You know about the broken news?
No, you're confusing me.
Okay. Tonight is the season finale of SWYM. Tonight is the last night I'm going to do SWYM as we know it. I'm not saying I'm not coming back. I'm going to go to a different platform, but as as opposed to coming on every Wednesday as I have for the past 3 years or so, I'm just going to take a small hiatus. I've got some important things coming up, and I just want to take a break. And if you heard last week's live stream, it's perfect timing, I think. Did you watch last week's live stream?
Yes.
Okay. What did you think of it? Did you like it?
It was very interesting.
How so?
There just was a lot of pieces of it. That was the one that you had the different parts, right?
Yeah, I think it's parts 1 through 4, and then there's a bonus, and then tonight is going to be the special bonus finale. So at the guest that's coming up later is going to close that series out and close out this whole this season, this episode rather, this season.
Okay.
So.
Well, yeah, it was very interesting. It was very interesting to hear different perspectives on people and their review of the conversations that were had between the different people. So yeah, it was interesting for sure.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm okay with letting it stop where it ended is because I think I have done more than made my point. You know, you look at people sometime who are passionate about something. I was about to use the word obsessed, but I won't. People who are passionate about what it is they do. I don't know what happened to me, but the last entry into my memoir and the last caller kind of sort of brought it full circle. And as much as I almost didn't want to hear some of the things my last week caller was saying, it kind of opened my eyes to something. I have always had a bad habit of wanting to expose truth, facts, information, and evidence. Even from whence I was a little boy, you know, I've had incidences where it's like, okay, this is not what happened, and everybody should know about it. And I thought logic and reasoning meant something. I thought if you study to show yourself approved, it'll show itself on a certain day. But you know, sometimes people don't care because there's something called the need to be right that will ruin any day for anybody who's logical or reasonable. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Okay. All right. Well, this is what I would like for you to do in the 6.5 minutes we have left, because I do have 2 other callers coming up behind you and my final caller. Tell me your thoughts over the past 3 years. If you remember how this started with the COVID concert series up until this very moment, what are your thoughts, views, and comments about me, the way the program has grown, even me? You know, just give me your, review for the audience.
I think it has been a very interesting segment. It has definitely brought to light to me, as well as your guests and the people listening, the importance of what we say. We have definitely had some interesting conversations ourselves over these last few years in terms of what you say, how you feel, what you believe. And I think that, we have not always agreed on everything.
But we've never agreed to disagree.
Okay.
Okay, go.
But I think that it's still cool conversations, whether we agree or not, or whether we have these conversations. It's still been very cool, regardless of the outcome of it all. And it has jogged, different things. I've had conversations with other people based on conversations that we've had, trying to also get another perspective or to see their thoughts on it as well. I know I have also referred some people to go and listen to, your show, so they can hear and see if they agree with your stance or the conversation or whatever that was happening. And so I So it's been good. I think it's been good for you in some ways as well. I think that it's been good because this is something that you are truly passionate about and want to share with others. So I think it's been good for you to be able to have this platform to be able to share your passion with other people. We don't always get to have the opportunity, but the internet has given a lot of people that opportunity, and you've taken advantage of it. And so it has been good for you, I believe.
Awesome.
On the other side, I think that it may have affected you in some ways in terms of maybe you being disappointed in people, not realizing the importance of saying what they mean and being okay with saying what they mean, saying what they really mean. But that's a part of the journey. And so overall, I think it's been great. I think it's been great for the people that have had the opportunity to listen to you, to listen to your different guests. If nothing else, it definitely have stimulated us to be a little bit more aware of the things that we say and what they mean, and also the things that we may be feeling compared to the things that we say.
Absolutely, because go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I want to thank you for that opportunity. Thank you for bringing more light to this, right? And just, bringing the awareness of that to your audience, including myself. So thank you, Mr. Bridges.
Absolutely. The pleasure is all mine. And as you were talking with the limited time we have, because as I said, I have two other callers and then my special guest, I remember the one that we got into it about had to do with, retesting. And you and I could just feel in your voice, and I could just hear, man, you were just not liking me on that day when I talked about that, that retesting during the COVID concert series, and that when we spend off and we were talking about that. You remember that time?
No, retesting of what?
The COVID retesting, when people who did not get retested for COVID, and then they decided that it was okay to go out in public without being retested.
Yeah, I remember that.
I thought I was going to lose my friend over that.
You almost did, because that was some tabernacle mess. But
I know, but we worked it out.
Yeah, it is okay, because everybody can have their different opinions, right?
Yes.
And thought processes and things.
Sure.
So yeah, I do. Now that you brought that up, I do remember having that conversation because
you were hot. You had steam coming out of your eyes and your ears.
Because people were making me feel like I was diseased.
Oh, they made you feel?
Yes.
Okay.
There were, they were acting like you got COVID and you were like, you got the cooties forever, right? And it was clear, the science was clear, that this wasn't going to stay in your body forever, that you were going to be, what's it called? What's the word? Whatever you can be.
Cured.
You pass on like you were.
Contagious.
There's an incubation period, and there's a period where you are contagious, and then there's a period that you're not anymore, right? And I didn't feel it necessary for me to get a test to tell me that I was no longer contagious.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember that. So yeah, that
was. I knew I wasn't coming around you for a few more weeks after that, and I was okay with that, and we survived because I think I left you alone for about 6 weeks because you were hard-headed. You didn't want to go get your official test. Not that I trust science or doctors so much, but I just kind of thought maybe you should have. But anyway, I'm glad you got over that, and we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for being my friend. I remember I got in trouble, with my my closest friend when I called you my best friend. I was like, okay, no, wait, you're my best friend, but no, you're my closest friend, but she's my best friend. And I was able to squeak by that. But anyway, thank you for being so loving and kind and supportive for me, to me all these years, especially with this. And as I said, the book is going to be released in just a few more weeks. I'll be moving on with that venture, along with another platform that I'm going to take, this live stream to. And I'll still be out there. I'm going away, but I'm not leaving. Oh, no, I'm leaving, but I'm not going away. Whichever one. So,
okay,
thank you.
No problem, sir. Well,
All
I'm
right.
here to support you whenever you do, so it's all
I know,
good.
and I appreciate it. All right, we'll get up.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good night.
I'll get at you. You got to take care. All right.
Bye-bye.
There you have it, my friends. Another special guest on SWYM, SWYM. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. I have my other caller coming up, but before I do, I'm going to go into a commercial for a massive major event that's coming up this weekend. So don't move. I'll be right back with my next caller, okay? So hold on.
South Florida, get ready. VLF Management present One Night Only. From The Voice, national recording artist Sarah B. Live and on stage with band and show. The smooth and sultry sounds of Sarah B. with special guest saxophonist Travis Bridges. It's happening Saturday, June 1st, 7:30 p.m. at the Country Club of Miami's Gleason Room. Tickets available at Eventbrite or call 954-683-1117.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be on and popping this Friday night. Hopefully you can make it, but if you can't, you'll hear about it. Anyway, this is SWYM. Welcome back, SWYM. I do have my next guest standing by, and before I go to my next guest, I'm going to talk about some things that I learned along the way over the past 3 years of spinning off of the COVID concert series. That need of pointing out the obvious was almost an obsession, but it was a passion. I just thought for some reason, if you can show that 1 and 2, according to basic American mathematics taught in the school system that I was educated in, if you can show your work, as they would say, how 1 and 2 equals 3, the basic. I'm sure there's some other formulas you can use to make it be something else that, someone would be okay with saying, you're right. I thought it was 4, but you're right. But it didn't always work out that way. And there is a need to be right, and there is a need to actually point out what's right, the difference. Anyway, I have my other caller standing by. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful. It's been a long time since you've been on, and I like your voice. Just like my other caller, your voice resonates a certain way, but yours has a little smoothness to it that I really like. I've told you before that maybe you should venture into, my world of voiceovers. I think you would be very prosperous and lucrative if you tried it out. So what do you think?
Well, you've talked about it to me before, and I think you've even offered to school me a little bit. But honestly, I don't know where that would take me, but it's interesting. It's interesting to explore.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it, and maybe one day we'll get one of those little things that you get in the souvenir shops when you go out of town. It's called a tuit, and they're not square anymore. They make them round. They're called a round tuit. So maybe you and I will get around to it one day.
Okay.
Okay, so
I didn't know you could buy one of those.
Yes, you can. They're souvenirs. They're round, and in the middle of it, it says to it, and it's a round to it. They don't have the square ones anymore. Those are like, that's old technology, but the round to it, you can actually get around to it.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll
so
have to explore that.
Yeah. You have been with the COVID concert series since day one. I have burned your ears up with thoughts, views, comments, complaints, whining, moaning. You've been there. And just for my audience, they're saying, there's some people who stand in the background and you don't see them. You and my other guest and a few other people that I will remain not to name or will remain nameless have been, supports in many ways. And before I let you speak, I just want you to know just how much I appreciate the love you have shown to me throughout the past few years. It has been just, so appreciated. And I just want you to know that.
Well, I feel very honored to have had a ringside seat as I have watched you share your philosophy, as you've honed your tools and your keen hearing sense. And, there's ups and downs. You hold people accountable and you get frustrated when they're not kind of following the rules you set out. I'll confess that I am one to blame, but it's been very enlightening, and I'm glad that you stuck with it long enough to share your SWYM philosophy and give us all something more to think about.
Well, as I was saying before you came on, I've noticed in, general personalities, no one ever wants to look bad, feel bad. And, we have this need to avoid pain and, gravitate towards pleasure. And sometimes in conversations, if we're not dead on accurate, we tend to shy away. And it shows in conversations that are held long enough to get to the bottom of anything. And I'll be the first one to say, I'll say it now, I've said it a million times, I don't ever want to be proven wrong. But if someone wants to step up and show me how something that I was thinking, feeling, or believing may not have been accurate, I am always wanting to hear, and I will be the first to say thank you so much for that. Unlike, many people in general, and I'm not knocking anyone, but it's just a natural reaction. It's just like I remember in one of my psych classes, lying is a natural instinct, particularly for children. So it's like, if something breaks and you come in the room and say, "Did you do that?" The first thing the kid will say is no, because of the fear of either punishment or the embarrassment of, not being praised. So it's natural, and I understand that, and I recognize it right away. And again, I like to say all the time, I'm not a therapist, psychologist, minister, preacher, any of that. I just like communication, and I'm not obsessed, but I have a passion for listening carefully. And the meaning of words is like the best tool you can have. I said, to one of my callers, you can't walk or talk together unless you agree. Doesn't mean you can't have differences, but if we're speaking English and you don't know the meaning of words, it's going to be hard for us to have even a conversation. So with that being said, share with me one of your most memorable memories or moments that you've had throughout this whole process, because you said you had the ringside seat. Just share one of your memorable moments, and then I'll let you go, because I do have another caller and a special guest.
Well, I have to say that when you launched your COVID concert series, that was my favorite. And I look forward to that every week. As far as the SWYM goes, I don't know that I could be more specific about what conversation, but it's been very interesting to hear you keenly observe how people speak, the words they use, and to realize that so often they don't actually hear exactly what someone else is saying. And I don't know that I could be more specific about one particular call, but the contentiousness and the frustration people have when they are being held accountable for what they say, what they mean, their thoughts, feelings, belief, and how you juxtapose that with facts, along with whether or not they are being contradictory, is very, very interesting. Because at times I find myself uncomfortable just hearing you interact with a guest. And I think that's part of the learning. I try to examine the triggers I have when I'm hearing. And I do get into it with you as well. And I think that I have to...
Hey, don't put our personal business out there like that. That was just between you and me, and my audience doesn't need to know that. So unless you're going to refrain from talking about our personal conversations, I'm just going to let you go.
Okay.
Oh,
All
well,
right.
But don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Go.
I'm not,
I'm just
and
messing
I
with you.
wasn't being more specific, but those are the things that stand out to me most about sharing your swim philosophy and the passion that you have and your keen sense of hearing, listening, and sharing that with your guests.
Awesome.
So I've learned a lot. I appreciate you, how shall I say, being patient with me as well. And I hope that you continue sharing that philosophy, because you've definitely fine-tuned and honed it very, very well over the last few years.
That was the intention, and it was mostly by accident, but things that are accident are actually on purpose. So I'll leave it like that. It was accidentally on purpose. So
I believe that.
with that being said, thank you so much. I'm going to get to another caller, and thanks for your continued support. I look forward to chatting with you and seeing you as we move along. As I go along and I release, the memoir, I'm going to take, this style of communication, abroad in some kind of way. It's not necessarily abroad, but, on forward, like, looking forward to speaking engagements. I see people doing that a lot, just like I kind of copycatted people who were online sharing their gift, skills, and talents, whether they were cooking or playing an instrument or something. I figured, okay, I think I can, venture into that. I believe I have the ability to speak publicly and share some of my personal experiences, and I'm looking forward to that. I don't know where those opportunities are going to come from, but I'm going to put it out there and be open to that. And I think I'm ready, and I look forward to that, and I'll share it with you. Maybe I can get you some VIPs to come and hang out with me.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next chapter. I believe that you set the stage for big things to happen for you.
Okay. And as you go, remember, this is the last, I'm going to call it the finale of season 1. It doesn't mean I won't be back, but it won't be consistently like I was here every Wednesday. I might just pop up anytime, and I'll definitely be on a different platform. But I'm still here. I'm just not going to be consistent, as I have been. So again, thanks for everything. I appreciate it. And I love you, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Thank
and
you.
I the same for you.
I appreciate it. All right. Have a good one, okay?
Thank you.
All
Good
right.
night.
Take care. Ciao. Okay, there you have it. Yet another caller on SWYM, SWYM. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. Guess what I'm going to do? Take a short break, and I'm going to play a commercial about a special event that's coming up this Friday night that I hope you can make it if you can. But if you can't, that's cool. You will definitely hear about it. I'll be back with my third caller just before I go with my special guest. Hello to Melanie Benita, Nigel, Jackie, and Christine, and everybody else just watching and listening. Don't move. I'll be right back.
South Florida, get ready. VLF Management present One Night Only. From the Voice national recording artist Sarah B. Live and on stage with band and show. The smooth and sultry sounds of Sarah B. with special guest saxophonist Travis Bridges. It's happening Saturday, June 1st, 7:30 p.m. at the Country Club of Miami's Gleason Room. Tickets available at Eventbrite or call 954-683-1117. That's 954-683-1117. I kind of sound like that guy. Let me see if I can do it. 954-683-1117. Sound like a real radio announcer, doesn't it?
Anyway, we're almost to the top of the hour. I have one more caller before I go to my special guest. Again, this is the season finale of SWYM, meaning that this is the last time I will come on as you have known it to be. And I've got a lot of content out there, a lot of conversations. You can go in and see how this developed from the COVID concert series unto, I think I called it SWYM Pwim at first. Say what you mean and play what you mean. And that just took too long to say and sounded too funny. So I just went straight with SWYM. Say what you mean. It's very important. I have my other caller standing by, and we're going to say, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. Did you have to unmute that phone real quick, or did you know I was coming to you?
I did have to unmute that phone real
Yeah,
quick.
it was a little delay. I was like, boy, she done went to sleep. Snoozing.
No, I was listening.
Okay, no
And
worries.
you said something that was funny, and I was like, see, this is why this show is great. It can be fun, it can be serious, it can be, educating all at once.
Well, you know what I like to ask, when I talk about talking, if I share something, the week before or a time before, I will ask my guests like this. Was it informational? Was it educational? Was it entertaining? Tell me which was it more like. And then they'll say, well, it was kind of both. I was like, well, which one was it more like? Because I like my specifics and directs. So yeah, I like to know whether it's informational, educational, or entertaining. And you know what else I like to know? I had something on the tip of my mind. Was it, anyway, how's your Wednesday going?
It's going absolutely amazing.
Okay, now the first two callers are like friends to the end. I've known them since, Jesus was a boy, and they're good people. They've been great supporters of me. And let me tell you right now that they're not here, I can talk about them. They're not listening right now, so I can say that I haven't always agreed with them. As a matter of fact, I have had conversations like my other caller from last week. We're talking about knock down, drag out, where I had my dukes up. Boy, you know how Fred get with Esther when he's getting ready to lay her out?
Yes.
Well, I'm telling you, with both of them, I've been like, come on. They almost caused me to lose my religion. But you know what? I love them, just like my caller from last week. She gets on my nerves, but I wouldn't take anything less than 100 billion for her, and I mean that. So if you got your money ready, I'll snitch. I'll turn her in. Mm-hmm. So you're new to the group, to my circle of friends. And our friendship is somewhat new, but I would like to get your reflections, your thoughts, your views, your comments on not only SWYM, but the creator of SWYM. Go ahead and tell the truth. But if you put my personal business out there, I'm going to hang up on you. I'm just going to tell you right now, because some things we talk about are not for public access. It's just between you and me. And if you don't know the difference, then I will put you in your place.
Absolutely.
Okay, so your thoughts, views, comments.
My thoughts, views, and comments about SWYM is that I think more people need to hear what SWYM is about. More people need to think. I think it has made me think more before I speak. Sometimes pause before I say something, though I don't always do it, because sometimes there's things. I wish I could mute my phone, right? Every time.
No worries.
to keep me from saying things. But yeah, sometimes as I listen to your show, it's like, it just makes me think. And like the previous caller said, I've learned a lot from not only your show, but I have learned a lot from you, and just our general conversation. So when you say, what are my thoughts about the creator? It's one thing to be a person who you have a conversation with, but it's another thing to when you have a conversation it's thought-provoking. And so that's one of the things I would say about you and the show.
And let me just add to that in terms of speaking. It's
Okay.
it's obvious, and you can really see it if you just listen to the dynamics of conversations. It's easy to say what you feel, think, or believe and have it not be consistent with the actual words coming out of your mouth. And I do it all the time. That's how I can not only catch other people, but catch myself. And when I say catch, it's not meaning like, aha, but it's like, hey, did you realize what you just said? Do you realize that what you just said is not what actually happened? And it's more of how you feel. And I'm going to give you an example. Let's see, I wrote it down. My caller, you will hear, my caller made mention about describing me as, let's see, dominant. And I said, wait a minute, what are you talking about? What? Me? Dominant? And I said, come on, there has to be a better word because I don't see that as like. And then she just calmly said, okay, yeah, you have a point. What that actually means is that you're self-assured and you're confident. And if she had not been checked on that, not like a aha or you made a mistake, but it's like, she didn't really mean that I was dominant. And if someone was eavesdropping, and it's not just for me, and maybe I do care too much, and maybe I do analyze too much, and so be it. But I like words, if they're describing me or my work, to be as accurate as possible. So dominant, was made, changed from, self-assured and confident. And I didn't want to, if she felt like I was dominant, then she could have said that. But I based on the conversation, I don't think I was dominant. I think I was just as she said. So it shows if you listen and you're willing, to hear it.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay, well, I don't want to hold you any longer. I have an event coming up this weekend. I'm going to play the advertisement, while I go and get my other guest. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate the new support. I support you the same way, although I think I support you a little bit more than you support me, but who's counting? I'm not going to put our personal business out there about how much you don't support me as much as I support you. And we're just going to leave it there. But I want you to know I love you so much, just the same. I appreciate you. I really do, even though you do kind of short me out sometimes. But no worries. That's just, it's okay. It's no big deal. It's cool.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
I thought we weren't going to put our business. Okay.
Well, no, we're not. We're not. We're going to leave it right there. How about that? We're just going to leave it there.
Okay.
Well, listen, thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the evening and stick around and listen. The finale, season finale, the next caller is totally different. And I'm going to describe it like this since there are no more callers. It's just going to be my special guest coming up next. You know how you watch a series and then you see the last one? I watched the Planet of the Apes movie, and I'm not really a big fan of that, but I know enough about it because since I was a little boy, I used to watch Cornelius and Zero. Those were the names of the characters in it. So I know enough to be able to catch up with what I've seen in the modern Planet of the Apes series. But at the end of the most recent one, spoiler alert, everyone, if you haven't seen it, it takes a total turn to where it's not over. So this next caller is kind of sort of unlike any call I've ever taken before. And it's definitely going in a different direction if and when I do make it back around to this platform anyway. So stand by.
All right. Thank you.
Listen, thank you again. We'll chat soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye. And there you have it, my friends, another caller on SWYM. It's been wonderful. Before I go, I just want to talk a few more things that I wrote down that I didn't say. You ever have your speech together and say none of it? So I have a lot of things written down here. So this is the end of season 1. I'm calling it that because I don't know what else to call it. And it's to be continue. It's called Proofread on Purpose. it stemmed from the proofread sessions, or the proofread stage rather, that I'm in with the releasing of my memoir. And I have a note here about walking and talking together, as well as pointing out the obvious as opposed to trying to be right. There's something about truth, facts, evidence, and there's something about the cream. You ever heard the cream always rises to the top? I don't care what someone says about anything or anyone. If it's false or untrue, it's just a matter of time. There's something about pureness and transparency that you just can't hide it. So with that being said, I'm going to take a real short break, and I'll be right back with my special guest. And I won't come back after this unless the Lord leads me to come back. So this would be me signing off for, the last time as we know it. Enjoy my next guest. Remember, it's a little different than normal. Again, thank you to all of my supporters. Tony Morrow is not here tonight. T. Morrow, where are you, man? Let me hear from you. Jackie, Nigel, Christine, Melanie, Benita, thank you so much. I'll be right back. Don't move, okay? Ciao.
South Florida, get ready. VLF Management present One Night Only. From The Voice national recording artist Sarah B. Live and on stage with band and show. The smooth and sultry sounds of Sarah B. with special guest saxophonist Travis Bridges. It's happening Saturday, June 1st, 7:30 p.m. at the Country Club of Miami's Gleason Room. Tickets available at Eventbrite or call 954-683-1117.
Okay, we're live now. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all I ask you to do is just try not to be interrupted and speak as clearly as you can. I'm sure you know that with you being somewhat of a voiceover talent. I think that's what you said. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, that yes was a little low. Can you get it up a little bit more?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let me explain something. By the way, my name is Travis. My background is radio. I write script. I do voiceovers, audio and video production. I'm also a musician. I play the saxophone. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I do a live stream. It usually airs on Wednesday evenings, and it's called SWYM, SWYM. That is the acronym for Say What You Mean. It's pretty much talk about talking. I'll either come on myself with a subject or a topic. Sometimes I'll have a guest, sometimes I don't. But it's pretty much bringing awareness to how we listen, how we hear, how we pay attention to what we're listening and hearing, as well as what we're actually saying, and what we do with the information we gather as we communicate, and how that information can change the dynamic of whatever we're saying or where we're going. So all I do is bring awareness to how sometimes what we feel, think, and believe is not always consistent with what's actually coming out of our mouth, because we hear with our heart, we hear with our ears, and we hear sometimes with, emotions or our preferences or our beliefs. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Some of my questions are going to be yes or no. You will always have the opportunity to explain yourself, but if you can answer a yes or no, that would mean a lot to me. If you decide you don't want to answer yes or no, it's okay. All you have to do is say, I'm not going to answer that. But if you do answer, it's part of the cooperation I need to be clear and transparent. And I will never deny you the opportunity to explain or express yourself about anything. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. So, do you have any questions before I get started?
Nope. I was in the marijuana industry for a long time, and so I know how selling and things go. You have, the key is listening.
Okay.
People give you all the information you need. You just listen.
Oh boy. Sounds like you might have some experience in psychology of some sort.
Well, just me being me.
I try to do my best at learning things all the time.
Okay. All right. What I was going to talk to you about is a little different, but it's kind of the same. So I'm going to ask you some very serious questions. If you don't want to answer, just change the subject. Okay? Are you single or married?
I'm single. I was married for 12 years.
So you're divorced now?
Yes.
How long have you been divorced?
5 years. He came home one day with divorce papers and decided he didn't want to be married to me anymore.
So he said, "Hit the road, Jane, and don't you come back no more." Is that what he said?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're in a custody battle right now. He's trying to take my custody away of my kids.
Well, may the best man or woman win.
Well, I have a really good attorney, and things are looking in my favor. He just has money, his mom's money, and money speaks.
It definitely does. Why do you don't think he deserved custody of the kids?
He's neglecting them.
And you're not?
No. The school has even called in CPS 3 times last year.
Who are the kids with now?
When he took me to court to get divorced, his lawyer said, my client has been an absentee father their whole lives and he wants a second chance. And so our ex-governor that screwed up gave dad, because there's so many bad dads, gives them the upper hand, and he's using his mama's money to do this to me. It's more my mother-in-law than my ex-husband.
So is it possible that he could win?
No.
What percentage are you sure you're going to win?
99.9% sure.
Oh my goodness.
And I won't stop until I do. I won't give up. I will never give up on my children.
Even if the courts says you have to submit custody to them? To him?
No, they wouldn't do that.
But let's just say they do. Let's try it on. What if they do? You just said money talks. Hold on. You just said money talks. What if his money gets them to say, okay, you have to give up custody? Then what?
Well, here's the deal. I believe in God, and God rules my world. So I put it all in his hands, and I don't worry about it.
Okay, but here's my question. If the verdict comes back where he has custody of the kids, what is your response going to be?
He has custody of my children right now.
Wow.
Yes.
And how are they doing?
They are not. It took the police.
How are the kids doing?
Not well with him.
How do you know?
Because CPS has been called 3 times.
Called for what? Who called CPS?
He's not bathing.
Who called CPS?
My daughter. The school.
Oh, the school call. Okay, and what did they say?
My daughter has autism, Down syndrome, and she's nonverbal. But she's the most amazing, precious gift in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not taking care of her.
You have
my son.
Your son older or younger than your daughter?
Younger. Today's his birthday. He's turned 13.
Well, happy birthday, young man, wherever you are, and may the good Lord continue to be with you and strengthen you and keep you safe.
They're filling his head full of nonsense, like bad.
Do you have access? Are you allowed to speak to your kids?
Not at the moment. he put a BPO on me for inviting them to church on Easter Sunday.
What's a
He said
DPO?
that was protection order. We're going to court to get rid of it. I have a good attorney. And
Okay.
that they paid under the table to get that done because that's not something for a VPO. All I did was invite them to church on Easter Sunday. But he says, my ex-husband says church is propaganda. He doesn't believe in it.
Okay. So what happened when you invited the kids to church?
They wanted to go. My daughter, it took the police. I told you my daughter's nonverbal, Down syndrome. And it took the police coming and prying her off of me to get her to go back to her dad.
Okay.
That's a big statement.
I didn't know where our conversation was going to go, but you do know we're live, and of course no one knows who you are, and there's certain things I'm gonna hopefully be able to edit to not go so far. But are you okay with going on?
Sure.
Okay. So what is the reason you were not granted custody in the beginning?
Because I walked away from our home because I couldn't afford the mortgage.
And how long were you gone?
We were back and forth in the same home for a year, and then I got out and got my own place. I was homeless to begin with. I mean, I wasn't homeless.
So when you
I
got
stayed
your
in a
when you
hotel.
got your own place, how long were you gone before the kids were awarded custody to him?
He was awarded custody in 2019, and he was co-parenting with me just fine. And then all of a sudden, an event happened, and he got mad, and he wants to take my custody away. But
Okay.
it's not going to happen.
Here's my question. You said you left because you could not afford the mortgage payment. When you left,
Yes.
How long were you gone?
They put me out. I was gone. He got to choose what I took from my home even.
Yeah, I
didn't
know.
even get to.
Right, but you left because you could not pay the mortgage. That's what you told me.
Yeah, the house would have gone into foreclosure.
Right, so you
Yeah.
left. You decided to walk away. My question again is how long were you gone?
I was gone for years.
Years. And he was left with the kids?
Yes.
How many years?
4.
So you couldn't afford the mortgage. You left. He stayed with the kids for 4 years, and he had custody of them for those 4 years?
Yes, but all of this is because of money.
Okay, but here's what I'm asking you. For 4 years, he had custody of the kids.
Yes.
And where
but
were
he
you?
was allowing
I know, but where were you?
in the same city as he is.
Did you see the kids?
Yes, I got a job and got my own place and got all that they deserved. You know, they deserve to have equal stuff like their dad's house at my house. So I worked my way up from a 1-bedroom condo to a 2-bedroom duplex.
Okay. So, but the kids never changed address from the house that you left.
No,
So who paid the mortgage after you left?
he did.
Okay. So did you leave because you couldn't afford the mortgage, or because if he could afford the mortgage, why didn't you just stay with him paying the mortgage?
Because they put me out. The
Who?
state of the judge put me out of my home.
But let him stay?
Yes.
What was the exact reason for that?
I have no idea. Money. I'm telling you, they pay people under the table. They're criminals.
Okay, so how long ago? What was the reason, though? What was the legal reason that they told you that you have to go and he has to stay?
There wasn't. It was. I have a new lawyer now. We're in court again. I was done wrong by 2 different family law attorneys.
So you don't know the reason you had to leave your own house. You said they put you out, and then you said that you left because you couldn't afford. Which one?
Because he's the one that filed for divorce.
Okay, here's my question. Now, I'm kind of getting confused, and thanks for sharing this with me and with my audience. My question is, you said you left because you couldn't afford it anymore. He stayed behind. 4 years went by. He paid the mortgage. But then you say you were put out by, the state and the judge. Which one is it? Were you put out by the state and the judge, or you left because you couldn't afford the mortgage?
I was put out by the judge because I couldn't afford the mortgage. I was a stay-at-home mom because of my disabled child.
Do you understand why I may not be understanding what you're saying? Or no?
No.
Okay. I'm hearing two scenarios. You're saying you left because you couldn't afford it, and then you're saying you left because you were put out. Okay, one of those is more accurate than the other. Maybe it was because of both. But when you left, what did you say to your husband when you left?
I couldn't believe he was doing this to me.
You said
we coexisted.
You said you left, but now you're saying he did something to you. What did he do to you?
What do you mean, what did he do to me?
Okay, listen carefully because we're getting sidetracked. And again, I appreciate you sharing, but I want to, before we go on, because I had planned to talk about something totally different. What I want you to understand is you told me that you left because you couldn't afford the mortgage. Now you're telling me that the judge put you out. And then now you're saying that he's doing something to you before you left. What did he do to you?
We were sharing the house, and on my weeks, I would be there, and on his weeks, he would be there, and he would go somewhere else. And then he started doing things to me, like putting things in he was poisoning me. And he started doing really awful, egregious things, and to where I had to move out for my safety.
Okay, so now I'm getting another story. You left because you couldn't afford it. You were put out because the judge told you to go. And now you left because you felt like you were being treated badly.
I know I was being treated badly. I was abused by him.
Okay, so did you leave because you were being abused or because you could not afford the mortgage?
Both.
Which one was more accurate?
I was a stay-at-home mom. I had to go out and find a job. I've been a stay-at-home mom the whole time my children were growing up.
How long were you married? You said 12 years you were married?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my daughter, she goes to extreme therapies, like occupational therapy.
Who pays for the therapy?
The insurance.
Oh, okay. Who pays the insurance?
The state.
Okay. All right, I get it. Okay. So you and your husband have been separated. Are you officially divorced now?
Yeah, we've been officially divorced since 2019.
That's 6 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. And the kids have been with him for those 6 years.
Yes.
And now you've got a new lawyer and you're going to court and you're 99.9% sure you're going to get the kids after 6 years of them being with their father.
Yes.
And you feel you're a better fit for them and that you're definitely going to get custody because of what?
I have a good support system and a lot of people that are backing me and my church family.
Do you think he's a good father or a bad father?
He's a bad father. He's knowingly neglecting them.
Does he do
That's why he's angry, because when they come to my house, they don't want to leave. They cry, and it's awful.
Do you have a court date already?
We're waiting for another court date because the judge on our case got her, what do you call it? They took away her right to be a judge because she was so horrible.
Okay.
She was taking kids away from parents and handing them over to abusers.
Okay. All right. So where are the kids? When's the last time you spoke with the kids?
Several weeks ago, because he put a VPO on me for inviting him to church on Easter Sunday.
You invited him or you invited the kids?
I invited him and the children to come to church on Easter Sunday, and he said that was harassment.
So do you have a no contact order from a judge to not contact them?
Yes.
Okay.
But we have a date to go get this thing reversed.
I know,
this
but
is not.
When you invited them to church, you had a no contact order.
No, we hadn't had a no contact order.
So how can
He got the no contact order after I invited him to church. Because he says church is propaganda.
Okay. So now you are not allowed to contact the kids?
Not at the moment.
Why did the judge grant that? Under what grounds?
Money.
I don't understand.
Money. His mother is filthy rich she's had 3 husbands die, and she's collected all of their money, and she's just paying out of her pocket, and she's running the show. Chris is going along for the ride because she's paying for everything. If this was up to him, he wouldn't be doing any of this.
How do you know that?
He doesn't have the money to.
I know, but how do you know he doesn't have the money? If you haven't lived with him in 6 years and you haven't communicated with the kids in, a few...
I know everything about him. I know everything about him. I know how much he makes, where he works.
How do you know that if you haven't been with him in 6 years?
Because it's the same place. He's a creature of habit. He has not left.
I know, but maybe he's gotten raises. Maybe his mother does help him, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have any means of, any resources.
No, he relies on his mother.
Right, but that's a good thing, no? I mean, if he's got a good financial support.
No, because she, along with that, when she gives him money, she gets to run the show. And so she's in control of all of this situation.
Okay, well,
My ex-mother...
Some parents do that, and some parents feel that they are better parents than even their kids. And if they're financially able to support the kids and the parents, it's wise for a mother to look out for her grandkids. Do you think his mother, loves her grandkids? Yes or no?
No.
Well, why would she spend her money on them?
To hurt me. She said that she would spend every last dime to take my kids away from me, just to hurt me.
But why would she want to hurt you?
She doesn't like me. I was never good enough for her son.
But why were you not good enough for her son?
Because I'm just a regular girl. I'm not a fake person. She lives that life of Botox and fake everything, and I'm not like that. I'm a genuine person.
Is that a reason to not like someone?
She hates me. I don't know why. I pray for them daily. I pray for all of my enemies. I don't wish ill will on anyone.
I know, but there's a lot of things that are happening, and I understand. No one understands better than me that things may look a certain way and then turn the pages. But I'm doing what, someone would have done for me. I was in a situation where I had to answer a lot of questions, because of, what people did. And, fortunately, I was able to survive. So I understand what you're saying. And I don't have a side right now. I'm just listening to you, but I'm asking questions that don't seem to be adding up. And that's normal. Maybe I'm asking the wrong questions, or maybe I could be missing something. But, you have a judge and you've got Child Protective Services.
This is a very, very, very complicated case. I had to get a really expensive attorney this time.
How are you paying for the attorney?
My mother has drained her 401k to help me.
So your mother is helping you, and his mother is helping him.
Yeah.
Okay. Does your mother?
Oh, yeah. But my mom's just regular people. She works on an Air Force base. She doesn't make money like that. His mother is just sitting on stacks of ex-old husbands that have passed away money. She has millions of dollars in the bank. She has a PGA golf course in her backyard.
Okay, how often does your mother see the kids?
Not right now. She's not seeing them right now because of what's going on.
When was the last time? So the order is against.
But she saw that she drove up and would see my kids at least twice a month. And she's 3 hours away.
Okay.
And his mom is in the same town and never has anything to do with our children. Doesn't take care of them, doesn't watch them, nothing.
So does your mother and his mother communicate at all?
No.
They're not friends?
No, she is an evil, evil being.
So how are you going to fight all that evil?
God's in control of this. That's why I have a sense of peace, because I know that the Lord is in control of this.
Okay.
I don't have to worry. I know that my God is bigger than this.
Okay. Do you get any messages at all from the kids? Can you email them, text them, or anything? Or are you just totally a no contact whatsoever?
Until we go to court, no contact whatsoever.
And
today is my son's birthday, and I called my lawyer and asked if I could send something for his birthday, and they told me no.
You know what? I'm really sorry you're going through that. But I guess I have to do what you're doing, trust God also. because there's something that doesn't make sense, to me, why you have been villainized and made this bad person. But then I don't understand why. I don't know what the actual charges are. And you're saying you don't know why. All you know is just all of a sudden they tell you don't go talk to these kids, your own kids. You don't, why?
I don't know why. That's why it has to get in front of the judge and ask why. It was all money. She paid people under the table. I know how they work. I was in their family for many years. They do everything under the table. For her other son, she has written off DUI after DUI after DUI. I don't know how they get the things done that they get done. But they pay under the table, and my lawyer knows it. He's the one that told me that they're getting paid, that they paid the guardian ad litem under the table.
Oh my
and
goodness.
He has proof, and he has proof of it.
Do you have a criminal record at all?
No.
None whatsoever.
No, but he does. He has CDS charges all the way back from high school.
What's the CDS charge?
Controlled dangerous substance. He got cocaine.
Oh my goodness.
I've never done drugs. We had to drug test for 3 years randomly because of him. I couldn't even drink or do anything for 3 years because it was a random one. You called every day, and it was a color system.
And what was the cause of that? What caused that?
Because they were trying to say that I was doing drugs, and I don't do drugs.
Who was trying to say that?
My ex-mother-in-law.
Who was she telling that to?
Her attorney. His attorney. But all my tests were coming back free and clear, and his were not.
Okay. Well, we can talk about that another time. I want to go into something else if you're okay with that. I thank you for sharing that with me, and maybe we can come back to it at another time. But I want to ask you some questions, and maybe the questions I ask you will help me have a better understanding, because right now, based on everything you just shared with me, I'm a little in the dark still, and I'm going to be okay with that. Maybe I don't need to understand. Maybe I can understand later.
No, I totally understand why everyone is. Everybody that is on my side cannot, this doesn't make sense to anyone. It's just money. And money speaks loud volume. And she has lots of money.
Why haven't you gotten like the news stations or private investigators to do something?
I don't have the money to do that.
That's a good answer. I respect that. Okay. So all you can do now is just wait and
I've just done everything I can do in my power. That's why I know God's in control of this, and I turn it over to him. He says, you have to give it to him and let it go. And that's what I've done. And that's why I have a sense of peace. Because I know my God is bigger and badder than this.
Right. Okay. Well, I hope you're right, and I believe you with you. And we're going to leave it alone for a little while. I want to ask you a few more questions before we go, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I guess this is about, relationships and dating. Have you had any other relationships since you've been divorced?
One relationship for 3 years, and that person left me. And I was devastated.
So you, for the 3 of the 6 years you've been divorced, you've had a relationship for 3 years.
Yeah. Afterward.
Afterwards. How long after your
Yeah.
divorce were you in that relationship?
2 years.
So 2 years and then 3, 4, 5. So you've been alone for the past year.
Yes.
Okay. Do you even talk to the person that you were in the 3-year relationship with? Do you have any communication at all?
I cut that tie because of...
Okay, now I'm confused again. You said he left you, but now you're saying you cut the tie.
No, I cut the tie between my relationship with that person that I dated after my ex-husband.
Okay. This is what I'm concerned about. You said you were in a relationship, but then the person left you, right?
I was in a relationship with somebody that was in a relationship with someone else.
I know,
Right?
but I'm trying to, now we're introducing a third person. Stay with me. You said you were in a relationship with someone and that person left you, correct? That's what I
That
heard you say.
person, they were separated.
Okay, slow
and
down, slow
that-
down, slow down. Just slow down for a
Hold
second.
on,
Go ahead.
because I respect marriage.
I know, but these are the yes or no questions that I'm asking you about. So let's just get some things straight and then you can explain later. Or do you want to explain now? Because I have some questions that I need to know before you go into that. So
I'd like to explain now.
well, I want to ask questions first. Can I ask questions first, or do you insist on explaining now?
No, you can ask questions.
Are you sure? Because I don't want to dominate. If you want to explain, you can explain. But I would like to ask some questions before you explain. So
Go
which
ahead
is
and ask. It's a really
okay?
messed up situation.
Okay. So you said you were in a relationship, but the person left you. Is that not what you said? I heard you say that. Am I misunderstanding?
Yes, they were.
Okay, hold on. You gotta.
Separated.
These are yes or no's. These are yes or no's. Listen carefully, okay? I'm gonna let you explain unless you insist on explaining now, but I need the yes or no's before you explain. You ready, or you want to explain?
Okay, go on.
Okay, thank you. You said, just answer me yes or no. I thought I heard you say you were in a relationship since you've been divorced, but the person left you. Did I hear you say that?
Yes.
Okay. I also heard you say you cut the ties. Okay, here's my question now. Which is more accurate? You cut the ties or the person left you?
I cut the tie.
Okay. All right, so now you can do all your explaining. Thanks for clearing that up.
I was with someone that was separated from their spouse. And I understood that because I had been separated from my spouse before, living in different bedrooms and everything. And once that person saw that their other significant other was doing fine and doing better in a relationship, they wanted to work on their marriage. And so because I am a respectable person and I value the covenant of marriage, I took a step back and let them do that.
Okay.
As hard as it was, I did it. And that's why I had to cut the ties between us, because I was in love with that person. But I respected the fact, I respected their marriage and respected the fact that if they wanted to try again, you know.
Okay, now this is where I'm gonna just mention something. I hear you talk about respecting marriage, but how do you respect marriage if you know a person is separated and not officially divorced, and you say you know that, but you went with them anyway? That's a disaster, a recipe for disaster If you know that, I mean, are you going to take any responsibility for that?
They were legally separated.
Well, if they were still married, so they were divorced.
No, they were legally separated.
I know, but a divorce and a legal separation is the same or different?
Different.
Okay, so listen to my question only. If you respect marriage and you know that a person is still married and you take a chance at going into a relationship, you have to take some responsibility for it not working out, because if the ties are not severed 100% completely, that's the risk that you run. And you ran that risk.
Sure.
And now, so are they back together now?
Yes.
And they are happily remarried again. And you.
I have no idea. I cut the tie.
Okay. But before you cut the tie, you know that he had gone back to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go. So you're on schedule then. And that was a year ago?
Mhm.
You haven't heard anything from him at all?
No.
Okay. And have you dated at all since that year?
I've been on a few dates, but I've never kissed anybody, gone any further than that. I have a mindset now of what I deserve.
And what is that?
To be treated like an equal and to be treated like I treat my partner. I'm a very good partner. And all the relationships I've ever been in, I was the one putting in all the work.
That makes sense. If you're putting in all the work and you're expecting to be treated like an equal, that kind of sort of explains why maybe it hasn't worked out. Because I know that no man is better than you and you're no better than any man. But a man and a woman is not equal. And if you're not married, I'm not sure if you can expect to be treated like a wife. And if you're dating someone that is still married, that's definitely unequally yoked for sure. So with that being said, as I said before, you might be on schedule with the choices you've made. If you've made choices to date people who were still married, and then
what had changed was I had strayed away from God for a few years. And now I'm back with him.
Okay.
My relationship with God is at the best place in my... I've always had a relationship with God, but I'm more advanced right now, and I have a sense of peace and calmness now.
Well, I guess you should be now. You probably have had quite a bit enough. If you've gone through everything you've gone through, and maybe this is the season, maybe things can turn around, because it sounds like you have done a lot of things on your own, and now you're on schedule with what comes with that. And if you're now, as you would say, back with God, maybe some things can work in your favor.
I decided to take a long look at myself in the mirror.
Good place to start.
The problems were in me. We all have problems, and unless you decide to change them, nobody else can.
Okay. You feel like you're all changed, you're all renewed, and you're ready now to become a co-parent or full custody with your kids. Which one are you okay with? Full custody or joint custody?
Full custody.
That's the only thing you'll settle for?
No.
You'll be okay with joint custody?
Yes, but I'm trying for full custody of my daughter.
Okay.
She's my special needs child that's being neglected.
Okay. I'm really sorry to hear that. I really am. And I just hope things work out for the best. I really do.
Thank you.
Back to my point. are you in a relationship, or are you dating someone now? You sing. I wanted to get something straight. I had a caller that suggested that I was dating someone. I have a really good friend that I talk to often, and she made a suggestion to me. I'm gonna change the subject for a moment. She made a suggestion that I shared with her someone that I was dating. Well, I haven't dated anyone in gosh, man, 15 years. I have, made attempts to start relationships and have been interested in people and have people, I don't know, have been attracted. But the moment I'm actually dating someone, it'll be public news. I don't put my business in the street. But if I'm actually dating someone, that's something that I would kind of open to, not necessarily the public, but it wouldn't be a secret. So when the person said that, they know of someone that I've dated, I wanted to try to set the record straight, because it's not necessarily true, but I have made attempts to get to know people and have been attracted to some people. But the word dating and relationships and commitment and definitely marriage means something serious to me, and it's not something that I take lightly. So when I was presented with that, I wanted to go the long route and straighten it out, but I didn't have the time or the desire. But for the record, just because you hang out with someone for a few weeks or a few months or so and you are attracted to them doesn't mean you're dating them as much as it means, you're getting to know them. When you get to date someone, it's an official thing that you both say, hey, I'm yours, you're mine, we're exclusive. And I haven't said that in 20 years now. So anyway, my question to you is, are you dating now in terms of just getting to know anyone?
No.
Not at all?
No, I've since I've gotten my relationship with God, I've just been focusing on that.
Okay. Do you get lonely?
Yes.
Really? I'm sorry. So you wished you had someone, like, I know we have God, of course, but, a human being, to talk to hang out with.
I pray nightly for my future, whoever it is. I pray for them. I pray for them to have strength, courage, wisdom. Not in particular person. I just pray over who God wants me to be with.
Okay. Well, all right. Our conversation did not go where I thought it was going to go, but I've enjoyed chatting with you. I do have a couple of quick questions that are just popping in my head, because I still don't quite understand, the situation, but I will be in prayer that, God's will be done, and that, you receive the desires of your heart as you delight yourself in Him. And for sure that the kids are definitely being taken care of, and that they will be made the priority in whatever happens. Their best interests will be adhered to, in this, whatever the decision is. But have you ever, do you have a criminal record at all yourself? I think I asked you that already. Have you ever been to jail?
I've been to jail one time, and it wasn't my fault.
Okay, how long ago was that?
2015.
Is that before or after the separation from your husband?
Before.
Okay, is it something personal or private or something you don't want to talk about? What happened? Why did you go to jail? And how long did you stay in jail?
They was trying to overpopulate the jail to get a new jail. And they were busting people at Walmart. And I was not the person on the camera that they thought stole something from the electronics department. I was grocery shopping. I didn't even go into that side of the store.
So how long did you stay in jail?
Till I was bonded out.
I know. Was that a week or month, a day?
A day.
And what was the verdict in that case?
Not guilty.
Okay, so
I wasn't the person that was on the tape.
Okay, well, did they expunge your name? Did they clear your record?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have a police record of any kind, but you have been to jail.
The only police record I have right now is this BPO that he has on me.
Right. Well, no, I'm talking about in the past. So you don't have a police record at all.
I've never been in trouble or in jail. No.
Okay. And are you gainfully employed? You have a job in a secure place to live?
Yes.
And if your kids were to come with you, is there enough room and accommodations there, especially for your daughter? Does she have? They
both have their own bedrooms and all the things that they need and love at my house.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, my heart goes out. Say it again.
I've worked really hard to get that.
Awesome. Okay, and you miss your kids?
Yes.
I'm sorry you're going through that. Thank you for allowing me into such personal space. And I hope I didn't seem too rough or harsh on you. I get accused of being, straightforward sometime. I hope I didn't come off as being nasty in any kind of way to you.
I'm a very straightforward person. I don't like gray areas.
Me either. It's black or white.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of black and white, off the record, what's your ethnicity?
I already know what you are.
You don't know what I am. How do you know what I am? I ask you what you are. What's your ethnicity?
I am Sicilian.
Sicilian. Would that be considered black or white?
I guess white with a little bit of spice.
White with a little spice?
You remember the Golden Girls?
Yes.
Picture it, Sicily.
Okay.
1923.
I got it.
My family.
Okay. I've got another call I'm going to need to get to, but what you just said, you know what I am. What do you mean you know what I am? What am I?
You're African American.
How'd you know that?
Because I can sense it.
How can
tell.
you? How? Tell me how. I've got to go. I've got to take another call. It's very important. We can continue our conversation, but how do you know I'm African American?
I'm a very empathetic person.
So that means you feel sorry for people or circumstances?
No, I can just read people very well.
Okay. Tell me the one thing that gave it away as to what you think I am. Because maybe I'm not African American. How much would you bet that I am or I am not?
I would bet. What do you want me to bet?
I ask you, how much would you bet on what you think?
I bet everything in my wallet.
So you
have some African American in you.
Okay. Tell me, what is the giveaway? Because I haven't told you what I am yet, and you might not be right. You might be wrong. I just want to know, before I tell you, and we reveal this, I want you to tell me what gives you so much confidence in your assessment.
Because the most men that I know that are African American are very wise and dominant, like you are.
Wise and dominant? Come on now. Dominant sounds not good.
No, I mean, you're sure of yourself.
Well, there are non-African American people that are sure of themselves.
Yeah, I know. I'm practically my best friend is 21 years African American. Her brothers are my brothers. I
Okay,
grew up.
so I'm trying to get to something. I do have to go real quick. So you're saying it's my presence, it's not my sound, my tone, or I haven't said anything, that's stereotypical.
No.
It's just you can tell
No.
by my energy, my countenance.
Yes.
Okay. And I just sound, when you say dominant, can you give me a better word? Because dominant sounds, I don't like that. I don't think my mother would like to know that her son is dominant. So is that what you mean? Do you really mean?
I see you as self-assured, like you're confident in yourself.
Okay. Well, that is often mistaken as rude or disrespectful in some kind of way. I hope I haven't been that way in any kind of way.
No.
Okay. Well, you know what? You're
What
making me
happened?
feel so good. And you know what? Considering that you're Sicilian and that translates as white, I noticed a very big difference in women in particular. So that's what I wanted to originally talk to you about. And maybe we'll be able to get to that conversation at another time. I don't know how I'm going to present this, but it'll be what it'll be. And my live stream is talk about talking. But I'm just going to say this as I close and go. This long conversation is definitely proof, because I had a conversation earlier with an African American woman, and the dynamics of the conversation is very, very different. And the person that I was talking to was kind of sort of describing, my energy towards people like her. And she was saying black women. And she said that, okay, I either don't like or don't date or associate with black women. And I was trying to say that's not true. I do love black women, and you're correct. I am a black man, an American black man. I don't know how much African I am. I do believe that my ancestors were from Africa. So for the sake of not denying them, I would say, okay, my ancestors are from Africa, but I am 100% American with African ancestors. So with that being said, what I think she might have been saying was that I don't date a certain type of energy, and the energy that comes with African American or black American women, has something that is not necessarily appealing to me. So she was saying that I don't like or I don't date, black women. And that's not true. I love black women and I do date black women. But I will say to you, and this conversation has proven it, and I'm going to say greater than 90% of the conversations I have with non-black women are somewhat like yours and mine. We didn't agree on everything. There were a few times that we had to, hash a few things out. But to me, you seemed a whole lot more cooperative. And I'll even use the word submissive. I'm not your husband, but you were respectful of the fact that this is my live stream. I am the host. I am a man. And although you did get to say what you wanted to say, you did not overtalk me. You did not outtalk me. You didn't use not one piece of profanity. And I don't even know you, but guess what? You sound so sexy. No, I'm just adding that extra on there. But I will say this, and I'll speak for many other men, not just black men. I'll just say that we are attractive to women that are peaceful, feminine, or cooperative. And that's what I receive in you. I don't know you from Jane Benny. And I was just saying that. I didn't mean to be, disrespectful in saying that, but it is attractive to have someone that's cooperative.
I just treat others the way I want to be treated.
Okay, well, let me just ask you this, and I promise I'm going to go. I have to get to the other call, and we can definitely talk again. Here's my question. Now, with all you telling me, with all your friends, hold on a second. Let me just put this call on hold. Hold on a second. Don't go anywhere. Hold. I have to go because I just promised I'll call back. Here's my last question to you, and then we can talk later if you're okay with that. Can I get one more question?
Sure.
Okay. Do you notice a difference in the energy and the attitude? And I'm just talking about women alone. If you look at the black women that you know, and then you look at some of the white women that you know, and I know that there are other ethnicities, and let's just throw in someone from, Latin, background, Latin culture. So of the women that you know from the Latin culture, from the white American culture, or just white culture in general, even Sicilian, and the Black American women, do you notice a difference in the energy, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, you better be careful now. And now that was the last question. Here's part A of that last question. Can you just give me one word that describes the energy and the attitude of the majority of the Black women, the Hispanic women, and white women that you know? Just give me one word to describe the personality types. Start with the white women. One word. Or one sentence. How about that? One sentence or one word?
Controlling.
Who's controlling?
A lot of white women are.
Okay. Give me the word for the Latino community. Latina.
My brother's married to a Latino girl, and I don't like her values.
Okay, give me one word. Give me one word to describe her energy, her character.
All about her.
All about her. Okay. And now for your Black friends, give me one word.
Too much.
Oh, that's 2 words, but I'll take it. Listen, I don't say your name. No one will know your name unless they recognize your voice. I'm considered almost nobody in the social media / content creator or YouTuber. So I'm just, it's talk about talking. I don't do it for the attention or any money because I haven't received a dime, but I enjoy communicating and talking about talking. And I appreciate this time with you. I hopefully will be able to do it again. But thank you for that input. And I have your number. You have mine. As soon as I'm free again, I will call you back. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. You have a good one. And thank you so much again. We'll chat soon.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Elvis has left the building. I've told you absolutely straight up to this point, you know that he has left the building. He left the stage and went out the back with the policeman, and he is now gone from the building.
South Florida, get ready. VLF Management present One Night Only. From The Voice national recording artist Sarah B. Live and on stage with band and show. The smooth and sultry sounds of Sarah B. with special guest saxophonist Travis Bridges. It's happening Saturday, June 1st, 7:30 p.m. at the Country Club of Miami's Gleason Room. Tickets available at Eventbrite or call 954-683-1117. SWYM. SWYM. Say what you mean. As much as this information is designed to bring awareness to how we listen, hear, and process, it is also a form of therapy. The little person inside of all of us needs to be heard. As adults, even listening to ourselves is a form of healing, strengthening, and growth. It's okay to speak, talk, express yourself, and be heard, even if you're the only listener. If our testimony does anything at all for anyone else, That makes the continued effort worth the time. Get the words out. You'll feel better, and that's a promise. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
You know, sometimes it seems like all the good times are gone. But you got to keep on searching. You got to keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. For example, take me standing right here today. I would not be here with you if I believed the things that the people say. You got to keep on searching. Keep on searching. Keep it on the cool side. Keep it on the cool side.
Keep on looking around. Good night, everybody, and thank you so much. See you at the top.